Welcome to Trip and Raj.
Good evening, I'm Trip Sheehan.
And I'm Raj Satpathy.
Here we're going to start off our lecture telling you about the names of the New England colonies and which consist of them.
Two of the New England colonies were New Hampshire and Connecticut.
The other two were Rhode Island and Massachusetts.
The reason for the founding of New Hampshire was for profit from trade and fishing.
Really?
In addition to these two enterprises, New Hampshire was founded for religious freedom from Massachusetts. The reason for the founding of Connecticut was also for religious freedom as well as political freedom.
The reason for the founding of Rhode Island was for religious freedom from the Puritans, and because the founders wanted separation of church and state. The reason for the founding of Massachusetts was for religious freedom.
The founder of Connecticut was Thomas Hooker. The founder of New Hampshire was Ferdinando Jorges and John Mason.
The founders of Massachusetts were William Bradford and John Winthrop. The founders of Rhode Island were Roger Williams. These were some very brave and courageous men to have founded colonies that led them into the New World.
I agree. In fact, some interesting events in the New England colonies were that in 1652, Rhode Island was the first colony to abolish slavery.
Really?
In 1692, many people accused women of being witches. Even men and children were accused of being witches. This horrible atrocity occurred in the town of Salem, Massachusetts. There was a special court set up for these so-called witches, and many of them were hung and even killed.
That must have stunk for them. Another very important event happened in 1675. In 1675, King Philip's War began between the colonies and the local Native Americans. In 1676, King Philip was not actually a king, but he was actually a Native American chief named Metacomet. In 1676, Chief Metacomet was hunted down and killed, ending the Native American independence and political influence forever.
Going back to what I was saying about those Salem witch trials, in 1697, the Supreme Court of Massachusetts publicly apologized for the discomfort and misery it had caused the families and friends of the so-called witches that they had persecuted.
Wow, that's very interesting. And extremely nice of them. Say, Raj, do you know when the first enduring newspaper in America was first printed?
I think it was the Boston Newsletter in April 1704. Aren't they still publishing?
Yeah, I think they are.
Massachusetts, in the past, mid-1670s, was actually banned from trading with any other colonies or countries, except for England.
Now, I'd like to show you a picture of what some of Boston would look like. So here it is. So, all the time, Boston was very crowded and extremely hard to get through.
Yeah, it was one of the major trade centers of the New England colonies.
It relied on furs, fishing, hunting,
Whaling.
all that stuff.
It was very busy, and it was a major center point of the New England colonies.
Boston also happened to have a lot of colonial people come in and out and help against the King Philip's War against the local Native Americans.
That's true. It's Boston. Even Boston had started out small, like many other colonies, but it grew up to be the big town that we now know it as.
Well, thanks for watching, and remember, I'm Trip Sheehan.
And my name is Raj Satpathy.
Thanks, and good night.